Charlie with you, on 229. I'm 9900 Charlie Raleigh side, 23 left, bridge landing in 220 at 13. Okay, land 23 left, 2 left. Runway lights on the left side. American 1888 inbound to the right. American 1888 Raleigh Tower, 23 right, clear to land, 1220 at 13. 23 right, clear to land, American 1888. Clear 27 Charlie Alpha 3, contact 9.9.
All right, good evening everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing all right. As you guys can see, almost complete darkness here. Not even 6 o'clock yet. So sadly, going to be a full-on dark evening. Lynn, yeah. So Lynn, I have I have an issue, you know, trying to get things done and doing it, you know, at 7:10 a.m. when I should be on my way to work. That was part of my issue this morning. So Lynn and I are talking about the typo there in today's show. Don't pay that no mind. It'll be all right. Again, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. We've got several arrivals, one of which American 1888 from Dallas Fort Worth. Going to be our first official arrival of the show. Again, good evening. Full moon Wednesday night. Full moon always makes things fun. So I hope everybody's had a wonderful Wednesday, of course, wonderful week. Sad news, of course, in the world of aviation, given the events of yesterday. Not anything any of us like to see, of course. So we got a minute for American. We've got that Embraer back, the Siege 1000, making another appearance here. If you guys remember, it came from Paris last time it was here, went to Rome. I'm not sure exactly where it came from today or yesterday, whenever it landed.
Turn right Alpha 3, contact 9.9. Alpha 3, ground 9.9.
It's a touch bit windy this evening. Not that we'll really be able to tell, given that, you know, obviously it's already dark, unfortunately. So it's definitely one of the things as a show we struggle with. The darkness. Now, the American 777, by the way, it is already here. I don't know what time it got here. I haven't had the opportunity to check departure boards here. I do assume Air France 777 will get out of here at a decent time. I'm assuming around 6:30-ish. The American 777, again, I haven't looked to see what time that one came in today. I assume it was shortly before we started the show. thing seems extra fuzzy this evening. So this is American 1888 from Dallas Fort Worth. This is a 737.
American 04, 23 right, continue travel auto position.
So aside from yesterday's tragedies, I have been following the news here the last, mostly today. I was looking at some of the news today talking about air traffic controllers, TSA, all not getting paid. They're talking, again, we don't report the news, that's not what we do here, but they're talking about it putting a pretty big impact on the aviation community.
November 00, Charlie, turn right out for 3, contact ground point 9. Alpha 3.9, 00, Charlie, good night.
So with all of the shutdowns and things going on, like I said, I've been watching the news a little extra close the last couple of days. With that going on, again, that is really affecting a lot of things, a lot of airports and such. So man, I wish this airport had just a little bit more light. Although having a full moon tonight, should be able to see things semi-clear. I wouldn't say perfectly clear this evening, but I would think we'd be able to see stuff a little bit better. So this one's Delta.
American 2308, Raleigh Tower, 23 right, line of 8. Line 23 right, American 2308.
Still got about 3 minutes before the official start time of the show. So thank you guys for tuning in early and having your notifications set to all. I know for a couple of weeks we talked about that. We need to make sure we go over that again, so you guys know exactly when we go live.
Charlie and Bravo contact route traffic. Charlie and Bravo to land. What do you want to do?
So Lynn, I honestly don't know. I'd have to look into the tail number and find out whether or not it's been here before. I'm sure there's a probable chance over the last 2 years that I probably have seen that MD-11 at some point, especially over the last 4 years. 2 years for doing live shows, 4 years for doing all the other things. YouTube, Instagram, all of that stuff there. Sounds like ATC is perfectly clear this evening, thank goodness. Had some issues with it last week. Oh, we got a departure over here. It's going to turn to southwest, but it looks like we've got an American Eagle. E175. Oh no, it's 737. I saw an American Eagle head out. I did not see a 737. By the way, a departure shot's going to be a little on the short side this evening, and you'll find out here in just a second. Parking tonight, very, very slim. As you can see, there's a truck right there, right in our way. Parking tonight, very slim. 35 spaces atop the parking garage this evening. So I picked whatever we could get our hands on and try to make it to where we could still at least see both sides.
2308, contact departure. 2308. Just set 679 and make sure 3 left, line away heading for takeoff. We're heading close to takeoff, 23 knots, 666.
Nice departure there for the exec jet. It's American hour here. American 1904 from Charlotte. Our next arrival 737-800. This one a 28-minute hop from Charlotte.
That's at 679, contact departure. Departure used at 679. Southwest 1790, Raleigh, runway 23 left, turn left heading 210, clear takeoff. Left turn 210, clear takeoff. 23 left, southwest 1790.
All right, guys, it is the official start time of the show. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's had a wonderful start to your week. Once again, nighttime plane spotting here from RDU. This is how it's going to be until March, April for Wednesday nights. We'll be out here cold, freezing, and in the dark. And the camera's going to struggle to focus. There we go. Thank you. So, again, if you guys enjoy nighttime plane spotting, Wednesday night is the night for you here. Southwest with the beautiful blue ambient lighting on board. Figure out where that one's headed in just a moment. Southwest 1790 off to Orlando. Headed down to warmer temperatures. Obviously, it's not too cold here tonight. I do have my jacket on, but that's because I didn't want to carry it out to my car from work. And I just forgot to take it off. Kind of comfortable currently, so no big deal. Another American 1894 coming in from Charlotte. Another 28-minute flight. This one an A321-200. So back-to-back Charlotte flights here. They must have had some sort of delay earlier in the day. Again, 6 o'clock and completely dark. We do have a full moon off to our right. But again, completely dark, unfortunately. Christopher Brown with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Christopher Brown. Oops, hold on. Somebody out here getting ready for departure. Let's get Christopher's message up there. Thanks for all you do and giving us a great stream. Very welcome, Christopher. Appreciate the contribution and the support you guys give. Absolutely amazing. And thank you guys for being members as well. That also helps a whole lot. Keep this channel up and moving. You guys are absolutely fantastic. American Airlines 3266, an A319 off to Miami. That's going to be our next departure there on the left side of your screen. Alistair, good evening. Yeah, I've been watching several videos about that crash. Again, I'm no aviation expert and I don't report the news, but I am deeply saddened by what happened there in Louisville. Sad another MD-11 was claimed. An MD-11, 34 years of age. Nice early rotation for the A319. So we're going to try to take a peek at Air France. Again, parking limited here this afternoon. Hard for me to find a spot, but we are on the end, but I am further away from the terminal. Nothing obviously we can do about that. And so we are gonna keep an eye on this one. I need to check flight radar. Thank you so much, Lynn, for this super chat or the membership milestone. 6 months already, man. Oh man, you've been here a while. Thank you so much, Lynn. Again, I appreciate you guys. All right, what do we got going on here? Zeus 23, I don't know what that is. No information on that. It says it's going 600 feet. We've got FedEx coming in. FedEx 785 from Memphis, Tennessee, arriving in 14 minutes. But what I originally wanted to do was check on our departures. Alaska off to Seattle, scheduled and estimated 6:14, so about 7 more minutes for Alaska Airlines. Air France estimated 7:05 back to Paris. So about an hour before that departure. We've got New Pacific off to Washington, 8:25. 8:40 is the departure of the American 777. So a good bit of time here before those departures. Still 1 hour for Paris, and then 8:40 p.m. So we're gonna try to, let's see, let me go back. We do have our own MD-11 tonight departure, estimated 9:18 this evening. We'll stick around for the MD-11 departure. Scheduled departure time 9:05, estimated 9:18. We also have Iceland from Reykjavik, ICE 821. They'll be here in 7 minutes. 6 hours, 16 minutes so far for them. They are early. Very, very early. They shouldn't be here till after 7, but there looks like they're going to arrive early. Maria, joining economy class. Thank you so much for the membership. I will say that I am interested in figuring out what actually happened. I know there's a lot of theories and a lot of things going around right now, but of course we won't know anything until the NTSB conducts their investigation on that crash yesterday. Of course, again, like I said, I don't report the news and I'm not an aviation expert, so I have no real idea. I have theories, of course, but again, sad situation over there in Louisville. There's no good disaster, if that makes sense, but it could have been way worse, if that makes sense as well. It could have been way, way, way worse. So we got to look at it like that. It is a sad and devastating situation, but it could have been way worse. I did see before I left work, and I don't know how old the video was. I think it was from this morning, but they have 9 confirmed fatalities out of that. Still a lot of, like, 10 or 11 folks still missing as well. Odd, we have a Delta moving over there. Is that an A321 or is that a 757? Almost looks like a 757. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody else's milestones. Yeah, that Delta's gonna go that way. It does look like a 757 though. So we got a couple more minutes here for our next couple of arrivals. We've got Southwest coming in. We've got Iceland from Reykjavik. We've got PSA from Philadelphia. That's going to be a CRJ 900 LR. That one due in a minute. Behind Iceland, we've got Southwest 2071 coming in from Nashville, Tennessee. 57 minutes of flight time, so right at 1 hour by the time they touch down. I wonder where this 75 is going. Dang, that Aviation, that's something I'd like to do. But I think I'd prefer it on an A350. Maybe one day Lufthansa will decide to bring the A350 our way. So a couple of arrivals. PSA closest to us, left side of your screen. Right side of your screen is Iceland. Should see Alaska here anytime. We also have that FedEx arrival from Memphis. Hey, Carolyn. So that Delta 757, and we have New Pacific. So we've got a couple of 75s here this evening. New Pacific off to DC. Hey, Tony. Ramona with her membership milestone, 19 months. Ramona, a good friend of ours. Tony with a 19.99 super chat. A beautiful night in Carolina. Thanks for the show, my brother. You're very welcome. Surprised you're not out here trying to snag the moon. Although the moon is having issues with the clouds. I had a good clear shot of it right when we started the show. The moon looking beautiful. Nice full moon, so hopefully we'll get some of that nice reflection as it gets a little higher and away from some of these little clouds. Hope all's well with you, Tony. Ooh, good question. I think I would like to go to JFK. I think JFK would be a good one. Miami's another one for the U.S. And I want to go to Schiphol Airport or London Heathrow. Either one of those abroad. I also would like to visit Madeira, of course. But I want to see all of the big international heavies. KLM, especially. British Airways. So I got a couple of places I'd like to go visit one day. So ICE 821 from Reykjavik, going to be our next arrival. They're starting to stack up out there in the distance as we check out PSA from Philadelphia. I wish there was a way to make this a little bit brighter for you guys. Fortunately, not enough lighting around RDU. Like at some of the bigger airports like LAX has so much light pollution. Makes it perfect for nighttime plane spotting. So, ICE 821 from Reykjavik, they're bringing in their MAX 8 tonight. Brian Lloyd gifting 1 Carolina Aviation membership. Thank you, Brian Lloyd. Pete Richards getting gifted that membership. Timothy, unfortunately, no. Runways aren't wide enough. Taxiways aren't wide enough for an A380. Thank you, Tracy. We do have a lot of variety here, by the way. The variety we have here in comparison to Charlotte's astonishing. Charlotte has all the traffic, but we got all the variety. Yeah, an A380 would split this place wide open, unfortunately. I think even after the 2040 project, it's still, the airport wouldn't be big enough, I don't think. Because not only do you have to have runways and taxiways wide enough, you've also got to have gates to support it. And I think by the time the 2040 project is completed, I feel like most A380s will be retired by then. They say most A380s don't make it too far past 15 years of service, thereabouts. So it would be interesting to see. So Southwest flying in an hour from Nashville, Tennessee. The 737 ready to touch down here. If I could keep up with it. Next arrival, American Airlines 2867 from Miami. Another Miami. This one arriving as opposed to departure. That's going to be followed by FedEx 785. That 767 from Memphis. That Aviation, I don't know. I don't know if they have taxiways wide enough. The taxiways are the main issue. We know Dulles can. We've been to Dulles. We've caught Lufthansa. I've seen Emirates. We've never got Emirates on the show, unfortunately. We've seen British Airways on the show. Yeah, so Charlotte can take on 747s. We can as well, as far as it's as long as it's the 400. Yeah, we've seen the 747-400 here several times. Here on the show for the soccer team's arrival. Mr. Beast's departure, and then we had the Atlas actual air cargo. All of them being Atlas, other than when we saw Air Force One and Air Force Two. Every once in a while, Charlotte gets the Antonov too, by the way. If you guys didn't know that. They were talking about it on one of the Facebook groups over the spring, over the summer. The Antonov was down there delivering some big component. Yeah, so if you guys remember 4th of July night, if you guys remember, we watched that 747 come in on 4th of July. That was the one that picked up Mr. Beast to take him to Saudi Arabia. It was hush hush at the time, and they weren't allowing people to say a whole lot. But I found out later from a friend of mine here at the airport that was for Mr. Beast. Brianna gifting out 5 Carolina Aviation memberships. Hey, our buddy Pip got gifted a membership. Mike Schultz, that Aviation Edits. Sorry, not Aviation Edits. Francisco. Greg G also receiving one. FedEx 767 slide in here nice and slow. The winds are a little not high, but the wind's out of the south, a little stiff. So there's our 76. So FedEx will back taxi all the way down to their ramp. If this is that 757, it should depart. Very light as they pulled it out from storage over there, or the overnight. Oh man, those two pilots right there having a good time. Absolutely lifting out of here like a rocket launch. Absolutely phenomenal departure for the 757 Delta. Now that one leaving out of here empty. Again, it did come from the RON over there, the West RON, leaving empty. I almost couldn't keep up with him there for a second. He was out of here. Is there a chance we can meet you? Hold on. Tracy, my 12-year-old son would love to meet you. We are loving going to RDU Airport. Planes coming. Oh, absolutely. Anytime I'm out here, you guys feel free to come up and say hello. I have stickers for you guys as well. Anytime you guys see me in and around the airport. Now, another thing, Thanksgiving. If we talked about it a little bit on Saturday, Sunday, Thanksgiving morning, I will be out. I know a lot of you folks will be at home, but Thursday, Thanksgiving morning, we'll be down at the observation deck for our second annual. Sorry, trying to read the chat and talk at the same time is hard. But we will be down at the observation deck for our second annual Thanksgiving special. That should start around 10 a.m. The observation deck doesn't open until 9. So that'll give me time to set up and stuff. So if you guys come out and join us, I look forward to seeing you guys. Traffic's usually light, obviously, on Thanksgiving, but it is something we enjoy doing. Still giving you guys that early Thanksgiving morning show. Yeah, it getting dark so early is a real bummer. Feels like I got here really, really late. But yeah, anytime you guys see me out here, if you're on the parking garage, feel free. Stop by, say hello. Got stickers for you guys. Got another departure here. Alright, that was Endeavor 5184. They're headed to LaGuardia. About an hour and 6 minutes worth of flight time. Delta 8848. That one headed to Newark. That 757-200. Headed to Newark, New Jersey. Air France be leaving at 7:05. 8:40 for the American 777, and then we have the MD-11 scheduled 9:05, estimated 9:18. So the MD-11 will be our official last plane of the evening. We'll also have Iceland's departure. Yeah, it all depends on what gate you try to put one on. The 300s they're really too long. A friend of mine in the ramp tower, it's like you can't fit the 300s at the gate, and you can't fit the A350-1000s at the gate. And you can't fit the A340-600. He told me, what was it? September, October, somewhere around in there, that Lufthansa contacted the airport and asked if they could bring the 600, the A340-600. Sadly, we had to tell them no. They had to tell them no due to the fact that it wouldn't fit in the gate, wouldn't leave enough space behind it for anything else to. Some of the smaller stuff I imagine can fit behind it, but if you got to get anything big out behind it, it wouldn't be able to work. So that American there off to Chicago, Envoy 3597. So yeah, all of those bigger variants, a little too big, sadly, to fit in our gates here. They did. They called up and asked. A friend of mine was like, man, I told him I was disappointed. He was like, yeah, nothing we can do about it though, you know. Not enough space behind. I mean, we did already have, if you guys are new to the channel, you see this light above the Air France tail? Right there, that one. Well, there used to be two of them. That other one located somewhere roughly right around there. You can see the concrete pillar there. The 787 Dreamliner, Air France. Second time coming to RDU, took out that light pole, causing lots and lots of damage to that Dreamliner. That Dreamliner sat here for nearly 2 weeks while they come out and assessed everything going on with that Dreamliner. Sat out there right in front of the observation deck. Got something not on flight radar making their way in. We're kind of southwest, sitting over there. I'm surprised Alaska hasn't made their appearance yet. They did have a Concorde here one time, from what I understand, and that was like a promotional thing. Don't think it flew routine revenue service, if I remember correctly. Got another exec jet departure. Yeah, hopefully they don't. We know all of the airlines, FedEx, UPS, they've been talking about getting rid of them by a certain amount of time. I'm hoping that yesterday's incident didn't push up that timeline for them to retire the MD-11s. But I don't think they have enough aircraft to replace the MD-11s currently, so I don't think they can push it up that far. Yeah, hopefully they do make some bigger gates. Again, if you look at the RDU 2040 project, you can see exactly the plan for gates. So hopefully they'll be able to put more out toward the ends and give us more room for bigger planes. Southwest 4180 off to Chicago, 737 MAX 8s. Yeah, I haven't seen Alaska just yet. Yeah, that too. We've got to be a focus city for all of the bigger aircraft. So what they do is they look at, I think, each airline's destinations. So like, say you're flying American out of here to go to Rome, for example. This is nothing. This is just hypothetical, all right? So say you fly and you get a lot of traffic out of here, people going to Rome. So what do they have to do? They have to go over to Charlotte to fly to Rome, or they have to fly to DC or JFK. So what they do then, I assume, is they look into that and see, okay, is this airline interested in coming here or not? It just depends. It has to be a focus city, to be honest. Right now, I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some Japan Airlines eventually, or possibly Zip Air. Something, because of all of the factories. Toyota's got a factory for batteries. Honda has a factory for the Honda Jet. Will it bring those airlines here? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is going to be, but my fingers are crossed for something like that. Yeah, our economy around here is getting huge. I've been watching several videos of realtors and things talking about all the planned things. They've got a soccer stadium they want to build, and none of that has come to fruition, of course. It's not finalized yet, but it was something they were talking about. And of course, if you guys live in this area, you know how quickly things are growing. Very, very quickly. The roadways can't handle all the growth, especially around Wake Forest. If you're in and around Wake Forest at all, you know that they've got a lot going on. I think we have, what, over 10? Anywhere from 8 to 10 international flights. Somebody in the chat can look that up. But I think it's like 8 or 10. Hey, there's our A319, Ramona. Our Birdbeak Airbus. If you guys were here with us Saturday, you saw the Birdbeak 737. Now we're getting to see the A319. Doesn't look as cool on the Airbus as it does on the 737. Just my opinion. Got an American Eagle hanging out over here. Still no sign of Alaska Airlines. Again, 7:07 expected departure time of Air France, 8:40 expected departure time of American. So we also have, you also got to think about all of the non-international ones too. So you've got American to Cancun, JetBlue to San Juan, Frontier to San Juan, Breeze is going to, shoot, they just announced this. Breeze is going international too, and one of their flights is going to be from here, if I'm not mistaken. So there are some more, other than just the, we have the domestic international flights. You know, that's an interesting question, that Aviation. I don't know if we can have a 787-10 or not. I know we've seen the 8 and 9, but... Yeah, Johnny B, that's right. That's another one that's headed that way. As a matter of fact, let me pull up RDU's Instagram page here. They just listed it not too long ago. Okay, so these flights launch at RDU by year's end. That's Breeze. So December 6th, we've got American to Punta Cana. Aeromexico to Cancun, so that'll be twice for them. We've got Delta to San Juan. They had another post here not too long ago about all that. Also, we also are getting another Alaska flight, Alaska to San Diego. I know that's not international, but that'll be a non-stop flight for Alaska Airlines to San Diego. Got another arrival. It's going to be Delta here in just a moment. Let's see if I can find a couple more posts here. Breeze Airways is going to the Dominican Republic. I think that's from here as well. So a lot of big things to come. Again, not all of our flights that are international carriers, but a lot more things coming. So Miss Carolina posting that link to Facebook, their Facebook, so you guys can go over there and check it out for yourselves. What all is coming. So next arrival, Delta 508 from Los Angeles. It's 737-900 ER, taking 4 hours, 16 minutes. I'm honestly surprised that they don't try to get Amazon in here. So the amount of airlines and amount of things, we also have Bermuda. You guys forgot about Bermuda. Bermuda Air flying out to the island of Bermuda. I always forget about it because I never see it. So it's just in the 2 years that we've been doing this, we've seen so many airlines. Aeromexico, Copa, Air France, Lufthansa, all of those have started. Bermuda being another one. All have started since we started doing the shows. Oh, you did say Bermuda. My bad. I didn't see it. So a lot more to come. WestJet. Forgot about WestJet. Yeah, that's right. And Air Canada adding the Vancouver flight as well. So that's 4 Canadian flights alone with 2 different carriers. So a lot more, I feel like a lot more to come, to be honest. Got a couple of planes sitting out toward the end of the runway waiting for their departure. Air France. Looking like they're getting ready to go. You can see passengers on board the 777 here. Getting ready to head back. To Paris. Yeah, we're gonna try to be here for that inaugural flight too. We've been here for the inaugural of Paris, or Air France, and Lufthansa. I don't think we were here for Copa. You couldn't see Copa anyway, and I don't think we were here for Aeromexico. It's the inaugural flights. We've had a lot of milestones in the last 2 years. As far as the airport is concerned, and of course we're kind of documenting the all the construction and expansions here as well. Looks like our next arrival is going to be a fly exclusive coming in from Teterboro, Cessna Citation CJ3 Plus. That one arriving in 2 minutes. Got a couple out here for departure. Delta being one of them. Delta 2600 off to Atlanta. A321-200. The nighttime presents a whole lot of challenges for me. And beacons on for Air France. So Air France will begin their pushback. So we got a like goal of 150 tonight. If you guys haven't yet smashed the like button, please do so. We got a long night ahead. We've still got about two hours and some change. We're gonna stay for the MD-11 departure. Hopefully that leaves on time. As far as I know, Aer Lingus will be flying the XLR. We see the XLR quite a few times when we go up to Dulles. TAP Air Portugal flies the A321, I believe it's the XLR. We see Aer Lingus. I think Aer Lingus might be a regular A321. I can't remember. We're going to have to make our way back up to Dulles again for a Saturday and Sunday show. This is an A220. I assume off to Boston. Nice early rotations this evening given the wind and wind direction. Got a nice breeze at my back.
Endeavor 5232, wind 22014, runway 23 right, clear to land.
So this one, Endeavor. This one's off to JFK, Endeavor 4804. JetBlue off to Delta, that A220 off to Boston. Republic Airways 4630 coming in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's going to be our next arrival. Another E175. Still waiting on Air France to push.
Wind 220 at 15, wind with 32 clear fly.
United also flies the 757s internationally as well. JetBlue flying their A321s over to London and Paris. David, they are not. All of that thankfully ended on the 1st of November, so we are good for that. While we look up and see them fly over. Hey, thank you, Shane. Greatly appreciate that. Glad you guys can watch the show as the planes come in above you. So yeah, all of the heavy maintenance here at the airports should be completely done now. Man, I can't hold on to this thing for some reason this evening. So Christopher Brown, what that will entail is it will entail more jobs. He asked what it'll entail with Breeze making this a crew base. So they'll hire possibly pilots, of course, and then flight attendants, grounds personnel, I assume, unless that's contracted out, like a lot of it is, the ground crews here. So you'll have like pilots, flight attendants be able to, that live around the area, be able to leave in and out of here. So it'll create some more jobs here in the aviation industry. So that'll be a good thing if you guys are interested in seeking a career. I figure that's really good news. Next arrival, Endeavor 5232 coming in from LaGuardia. That's a Delta connection. CRJ 900LR. As we still await that 777. Again, not due out till 7:05, but they are getting ready to push.
Delta 2600 Raleigh Tower. Runway 23 right. Line up the wait traffic. Warm up. That's outstanding timing. We're lining up the wait on 23 right for Delta 2600. Yeah, started just a little bit early. Traffic warm off on them. No problem. We won't go down.
Yeah, I want to fly on Breeze, mainly because they have A220s, but everybody says they have a lot of nice things to say about Breeze Airways. So at some point, I really want to fly on Breeze. Delta 2600 off to Atlanta, our next departure. 107 likes. Thank you guys. Trying to reach 150 here tonight. Again, we've got a long ways to go here. Stay until about 9:30 with that MD-11 departure. Air France finally pushing back. We'll get to that in just a moment. And of course, I'll mute myself so you guys can enjoy that GE90 startup. So you'll have those GEs firing up in just a moment. This A321 that makes its way back to Atlanta.
Join taxiway Charlie, short, runway 23 left, remain line frequency.
Alright guys, enjoy this. We've got Delta, another CRJ coming in. Endeavor 5322 coming in from DCA. That one going to be the next arrival, but I think we're going to stick with Air France and watch them push back. Again, enjoy the GE startup. Delta 3246 coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. Our next 737-900 ER arrival. We'll get back to those GEs in a minute. You know, I've been down there, Shane, by the GE plant. All right. Can't tell if that's them starting up or if that's something else. Miles Johnson, I don't know if they would go, because you've got Southwest, Frontier, and United all covering Denver. Alright, Air France, starting engines, enjoy. American 1894 off to Charlotte. Got Delta 555 off to Salt Lake City. Coming up next, 737-900 ER. I think there was over the summer a Delta that was non-stop to Vegas, and I think Southwest has one early in the day too to Vegas. I know we get Southwest from Vegas, but I do believe there's one to Vegas. So upon departure, you guys can see the moon reflection. The moon very, very bright this evening. Full moon. Seems like we've been getting lucky the last 3 months. Our Wednesday shows have fallen right in line with the full moon. So nice and bright. We'll have that Air France departure here in just a couple of minutes. You can hear the leaves rustling around up here with the wind. Bit of a breeze. I hope not. I hope they keep the 777 here. 777s are a staple here, in my opinion. Both American and Air France. Speaking of Breeze Airways, we were talking about Moxie 755 from Pensacola. 1 hour 24 minutes of flight time for the A220-300. Southwest sitting over here. I don't know if they're going to depart. Again, as we wait on Air France to make their way down. Man, you can't even see the Southwest sitting over there in the dark all by their lonesome. There they go. Lights on. Pete, sadly, no. For whatever reason, none of the American-based airlines ever purchased an A380 or did even lease an A380. I think it would have been cool if we would have invested in those. So our 777 hanging out down there. Radio died already. I keep forgetting to charge this thing, and we can't charge it and use it at the same time. As you can hear that buzzing sound. As soon as I plug it in, we get a lot of buzz. So I gotta remember to charge the ATC. All right, Air France 777, enjoy. Nice departure there for Air France. Back to Charles de Gaulle. Josh, they had Airbus wide bodies, but they retired them all right after COVID, during COVID, somewhere around in there. Just like all their 757s, they retired them all around and after COVID. Got a PSA CRJ pushing back just below us again. I'm a little too far. So if you guys are just joining us, traffic was limited, or parking was limited here this evening. So I'm the farthest parking space on the end. I'm close to the middle of the parking garage. So sadly, not the greatest shots. Luckily, that one there departing very, very early. Had a lot of early rotation departures tonight. So this wind being up as high as it is right now is providing us with some really early departures. So we have New Pacific to depart a little later on too. That 757 headed to Washington. And of course the American 777 off to London. Again, if you guys are just joining us, we're going to finish off the night with the MD-11. Up to Louisville. I would expect the A350 somewhere around springtime, summer. They used it for the majority of the summer, or the majority of the spring. I don't think Air France really knows what aircraft they want to bring here. Unfortunately, they need to make up their mind. Me personally, I want the A350. That's just my personal preference. The Dreamliner's okay, but the A350, in my opinion, is better. Jason, good evening, doing well. I did, Daniel. We were talking about it earlier in the show, right at the beginning of the show. Sad situation there. Like I stated earlier, it is a sad situation, but obviously that situation could have been made way, way worse. I'll be anxious to find out what the NTSB has to say about that incident. Thought though, with the photos that you guys have seen all over the internet, my theory is it's a lot like if anybody, I don't remember it per se. I don't even remember what year it was, but there was a DC-10 that crashed in Chicago, and they lost. What happened is one of the engines came off, cutting all the hydraulics on that one, and that's kind of what this looks like. It kind of looks like, you know, the engine came off, cut the hydraulics to the left side of the plane, and obviously you saw the video where the plane rolled over on its left side. So that's kind of what it looks like to me. We'll see. What, again, I'm not an aviation expert. I'm also not the news. That's just my, you know, my thought on it. Miles, I don't think so. I think that they would stick with Boeing products. As it is, if they ever decided to get a bigger Boeing, let's say a 787 Dreamliner, because obviously, I don't know if you guys saw the news earlier in the week, they're going international, not themselves, but they've partnered with, man, what airline is that? Not Philippines Airlines. One of the airlines over there, so they can cross the Pacific. Now they did this with Icelandair as well. You can use your Southwest rewards points, whatever miles, to get to Europe via Icelandair. So now they announced again that they did it with another airline to get over the Pacific. So I feel like they would probably get a Boeing product if they decide to actually take themselves international. That way they don't, the training's not as strenuous on their pilots. So then, you know, you got to think, if they change manufacturer for any reason, then you've got to train all your pilots to be able to fly a different manufacturer. So that's where Delta and American Airlines, United, they all spend extra money because they have a variety of aircraft. You save money by only flying and operating one aircraft type. I did see that too. They were talking about they're going to get their first lounge and all that stuff. So big things coming out of Southwest. I don't know how good or how bad that is. You've already got a lot of dedicated Southwest folks who have switched carriers due to the baggage thing. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a good move for Southwest. Because they're no longer, you know, what do they call them? Cheap airlines. They're definitely no longer in that category anymore. They're not like Frontier. I mean, yeah, they're on the cheaper side, but now they're adopting a different model. A lot of people only flew Southwest just because you got the 2 free checked bags. I mean, that's a pretty good deal in my opinion. As expensive as checking a bag is on all the other airlines, and the ticket prices weren't terrible. Obviously, I've never lived anywhere else where we had Southwest, but anything coming out of RDU is expensive. If you live here, you know it's very, very hard to find cheap flights on any airline. So we've got an American 737-800. Being pulled over to the overnight stand. Let's see where this American's headed. American 1904 off to Charlotte. About 28 minutes of flight time for that 737-800. It's funny how gate leasing and everything works with airlines. And from what I understand, from what a friend of mine here told me, is if, say, Southwest uses Delta gates, Southwest has to pay for that gate. Pay Delta for that gate. I was, but out in Western North Carolina. Moved to Raleigh about 12 years ago. Actually, this month. No, 13 years this month. So again, like I stated earlier, we got New Pacific off to Washington, D.C. later. That 757 over there, lights on. I'm sure they've got the APU fired up. Ooh, I don't know if they're going to partner with United. I haven't seen or heard anything out of JetBlue about that. There is a possibility. Again, it's all about gate leasing. So they lease the gates from airports. At least that's my knowledge of it. So like when they cram down, if you guys have been with the show long enough, you remember the airport took away Southwest gates. They took away a couple of their gates to make room for Sun Country, Alaska, and of course Breeze. Right, so the airport pulled a couple of gates away from Southwest Airlines to give them to other airlines. So the airport controls all the gates, if I'm not mistaken. Backyard plane spotting. Good evening. Out there in SFO. I do wish that Southwest would come out with another special livery. I feel like they need to do North Carolina. Speaking of JetBlue 2783 and A22300 flying 1 hour 41 minutes from Boston, Massachusetts. It's next on final. Good to see another A220. This is another one I'm surprised American hasn't adopted yet, or any A220s. JetBlue, Delta, Breeze, Air Canada, they all fly the A220. United's another one that doesn't have the A220. If you guys have been here long enough, you know the A220, one of my favorite planes. You can see the moon reflection there. Yeah, the A220 is a fantastic aircraft in my opinion. Again, one of my personal favorites. Let's see, what do we got here? We got an exec jet. This one coming from TTN Philadelphia. Cessna Citation Latitude. This is NetJets. 1 hour, 6 minutes of flight time. I assume that the airport there is an executive airport. Got PSA out at the end of the runway, getting ready to head back to Philadelphia. Not sure, Miles. Hopefully the A220, but we'll see what they decide to do. Now they can still buy the A320s. You get the Neos and stuff. Those are still in production. Still didn't see Alaska Airlines leave. I wonder if they either delayed or got canceled for this evening. Yeah, they might replace it with the Maxes too, that's true. I wonder if they'll replace them with the Max, the what, the 10? If they can ever get the 10 out. There's PSA off to Philadelphia, the 737. The CRJ 900LR. Make that 1 hour, 6 minute flight. strong headwind here this evening, so this is Republic Airways 4596 coming from Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be an E175LR. Oh, it did depart? Oh, I missed it then. They must have departed on the other side. See, this is the problem when it's dark. I can't see what's going on around here. Alaska is one of our favorite departures. This is our first full nighttime show. Got here, sun was already set by the time I got finished setting things up. So you got anybody adjusted to the time change yet? I find myself in bed at 7:30. There's Alaska right there. Sorry, Republic. Alaska's more important. There we go. Alaska 572. Getting ready to head back to Seattle. Very, very delayed. 140 likes. We're 10 likes away from reaching our 150 like goal here today. So Iceland's around on the other side of Terminal 2. We'll see that one depart around 8 o'clock, I think. They did land. They did come in early. Whether or not that means they'll get out of here early or not, I doubt it. But we'll be here for that departure. Yeah, they're normally out of here anywhere from 7:30 to 8 o'clock. And again, they did come early. Flew in a max 8 today. I don't know what gate they went to. As a matter of fact, I can see the tail, I just don't know what gate. So they're off on the other side over there. Right there should be Iceland's tail. I know, I can't believe Avelo Airlines is the first one to purchase the E2 here in the United States. Who would have thought Avelo would have been the first one to purchase those? I don't know that we'll see them here in RDU. They'll probably stick to the West Coast, I would think. This is our flight from Nashville. Just gonna go hide behind the tree. No, he's moving. There he comes. Alaska making their way out. It's got an American, well, it's Republic Airways. Republic Airways 4758 coming in from Washington, D.C. via Reagan. 34 minutes of flight time. They still have about 8 minutes left. Delta 817 coming in from Boston. Another A220-300. Followed by American Airlines 1202 from Chicago. Another A319. That one arriving in just 10 minutes. FedEx ATRs are on the way. Mountain Air Cargo 7503 coming in from New Bern. Going to be our first of 2 ATRs. This is the big one, the ATR 72-600F. That one arriving in 15 minutes. They're halfway through their journey. It's about a 32-minute flight from here to New Bern, along with about 32 minutes from here to Wilmington. Via the FedEx ATRs. I don't know if we'd ever see Porter, although I did say the same thing about WestJet. I said for what, a year and a half, I was like, we'll never see WestJet here, blah 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 blah. And then, like, I don't know, shortly thereafter, the last time I said it, WestJet from Calgary. I was like, all right then. Thank you to RDU for proving me wrong. All right, Alaska 572 back to Seattle. Now we do see Porter in Dulles, but they're on the Dash 8s if I remember correctly. Alaska gonna leave a little bit heavy, not leave us a whole lot to look at. We've got another American headed out. And we've lost the Iceland tail here. So I showed you guys the Iceland tail over here. I don't know if it pushed back. I don't see it. If it did, it pushed back behind the bigger portion of Terminal 2. And I don't see it on flight radar. I also don't see Alaska on flight radar yet. New Pacific should be loaded up. Good evening, Terry. Yeah, very sad after a couple of days there in Kentucky. Yeah, RDU and WestJet outsmarting me. Why is Alaska not popping up? So Republic Airways 4758 from DC will be our next arrival. Again, that one 2 minutes. E175. This new Pacific should be loading up soon. They're due out around somewhere within the 8 o'clock hour. 8:40 for the 777 American back to London. Thank you for the info there, John Southwell. I knew we'd seen some Porter when we were up there 4th of July weekend. Got another American out there flirting with leaving. I don't think they're going to. I thought they were. I saw them moving again. That's going to be Republic Airways 4742 back to Pittsburgh. I hear a MAX starting up, so I believe Iceland is starting. Sounded like it was off to our left. And of course, the Republic Airways to Pittsburgh is going to go for it. Nice early rotation. The wind really working in our favor this evening. That'll change much without making things worse. So I was trying to bump up some brightness here, playing with some settings. Been a while since we've done a lot of nighttime shows. Got a lot coming, so maybe this will make things look a little bit better. I'll have to make sure I reset it for Sunday. There goes Iceland, one of our favorite nighttime departures. Iceland leaving on time tonight. So good to see them get out of here on time. Delta 817 from Boston, our next arrival, that A220-300. 1 hour, 37 minutes flight time. This MAX 8 for Iceland in a hurry. Seems like this evening. So we still have about an hour left before the departure of the 777 to London. And about an hour, and I'm going to say an hour and a half or so for the departure of the UPS MD-11. There's our A220 arrival, again from Boston. Probably around an hour 40 by the time they touch down and get to their gate. Craig good evening. Grumpy One getting gifted a membership there from Brianna, Miss Carolina. 7 gifted memberships tonight. Miss Carolina gifting out 6. Brian Lloyd gifting 1. So the overnights will start to arrive anywhere from 8:30 to 9 o'clock most of the time. It usually picks up around 10:30 as well. I'm usually packing up by the time we hit that last wave of arrivals. Ramona gifting 1 Carolina Aviation membership. Lord 737 receiving that membership. So the A220 from Boston. Gonna go long here. Now we're watching for Iceland. Looks like Iceland is pretty much in a hurry. Iceland's like, I'm ready to go back to Reykjavik. They're not messing around this evening. That Max. Next arrival is going to be American Airlines 1202. Coming in from Chicago, 1 hour 20 minutes of flight time for the A319. Iceland not going to leave the ground in enough time. We're going to lose them behind the rail. As the A319 is ready to touch down. I know they are on the bells this evening, aren't they? Nice touchdown for the A319. They're going to turn out early. Hey, we're gonna have our FedEx ATR over here on this side, the ATR 72-600. Mount Air Cargo 7503, the FedEx feeder. 33 minutes of flight time. So there's our ATR coming in from Newbern. Again, later we'll see the other one from ILM. That one, a smaller one. I like this one better because it has the more modern LED lights on board. I know we talk about it quite often. Who's pushing back? Oh, so it's the American Eagles headed to their gate. So they have to be towed in over there due to construction. So it takes them a hot minute to get into their gate. So both of those American Eagles from a little while ago finally making their way to their gate. Got another one making its way back here. Actually, is that our A319? It's hiding behind the tree. Yeah, John Southwell, I'm not looking forward to next Wednesday. Temperatures are supposed to plummet down here next week. What is he? So C16 and C18 are the two gates that they were hauled to. The A319 is going to the end gate. I think that's 23. Next week we're supposed to get hit pretty hard with some cold weather. There's pizza for me when I get home. Southwest 2615 going to be our next arrival. Next major arrival. We've got one coming in that's not on my radar. Looks like it's an exec jet. I love leftover pizza, especially either Hawaiian pizza or a Supreme pizza. And I eat it cold. I don't even heat it back up. Leave it overnight? Absolutely. I don't feel like I've had pizza in a while. a Delta CRJ on the way out. This might be a Pilatus. Again, this one not up on my radar, but it kind of looks like it might be. No, it's not. Twin engine. That barbecue chicken pizza from Domino's is really good too. It's like a Beach King Air. Southwest finally turned on final here. Again, Southwest 2615 from Tampa. I'm partial to mint chocolate chip ice cream, I think. Hey, Fareed. You know, it's funny that you should say that, John Southwell. I see you left off olives. I can eat olives baked and on my pizza, but I can't eat just straight plain olives like in a salad. Absolutely not. I don't know why. It's just never been a thing I've enjoyed. We do, Lynn. We have Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut is actually my favorite. But, unfortunately, we don't ever get Pizza Hut. Now, so, truth be told, I get Pizza Hut. Nobody else does. Because there's a place over here behind the airport where you can get individual pan pizzas from Pizza Hut. So, I'll go over there every once in a while after a show if I'm starving. And get a Supreme pizza. But yes, Pizza Hut, absolutely. One of my favorites. Yeah, we got several pizza joints around the area. There's one out by my house. There's one over here by the airport. There's the one over here behind the airport that's Pizza Hut, but that also has like a taco place. It's got Wayback. It's got Wayback Burger, which is a sandwich place. It's all tied into a gas station. Looks like we got a Delta CRJ on the move. Papa John's is another one that I enjoy too. Especially like the barbecue pizza that I was talking about, or their Hawaiian, but I also enjoy their brownies. $3 super chat. Carolina Food Network. So speaking of Carolina and food, I did see a thing that there's several Michelin stars to be given out here in the area to several other restaurants, a couple of which are barbecue. Saw this exec jet land a little while ago. I think this one come from Pittsburgh. This one headed out again. Quick turnaround. Gonna rotate early. Let's see if there's any movement over here at New Pacific. APU's running there on New Pacific. That 757 getting ready to head back to Washington. Next arrival is going to be Delta 2992. This one coming in from Miami. We also have United out there. You guys saw that United rolling out to the end. That's United 1502. They're getting ready to head back to Dulles. That's an A319. Going to be the next departure. So United off to DC up next. Should be our next departure here. What is going on with this all of a sudden? yeah, much better. Holy cow. This is our bird beak. Ramona will be excited to see this one depart. No, Christopher Brown, anybody can send out memberships. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. I think I fixed my issues with my camera. Holy crap, that looks a whole lot better. Just gonna have to remember to set everything back to the normal on Sunday, but man, that looks so much better. I apologize, we've had such crummy looking nighttime shows. Again, it's been a year. It's been a year and some change since we've really deep dived into nighttime shows. So that looking so much better. Glad I fixed it. And you can see a whole lot more. Yeah, so anybody can gift out memberships. Our moderators enjoy gifting out a lot of memberships. So a huge shout out to, wow, that looks a whole lot better. Why did I not do that before? Anyway, it's my first time. Never done nighttime shows before. That looks so much better. Again, I apologize for not having good quality nighttime shots there. Had to make a quick adjustment. So now that I've done that, hold on. We said that one's going back to Washington, D.C. via Dulles. Yeah, you also have to be able to accept the gift. So you have to turn it on. If you're using an iPhone, you have to, I think, use Safari or do it from your computer or a tablet to be able to turn that on. If I remember correctly. Hey, look, there we go. Beacons on for New Pacific. That 757 going to head to Washington itself here in just a few minutes. All right, Karen, good evening. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. We'll be back on Sunday. No show Saturday. I got to work Saturday, unfortunately. Saturday is never a good day to us, and I feel like this coming Saturday is going to be even worse than most. Our final ATR of the night, coming in from Ramona Town, coming in from Wilmington, Mountain Air Cargo 7508. This is the ATR 42300, the smaller of them. Carol Ann, we have about another hour, 10 minutes left in the show. Our 777 leaving here tonight at 8:40. We're going to stay for the MD-11 departure. If it departs on time, fingers crossed that it does. No worries at all. Again, we're going to rock on for about another hour, 10, 20 minutes or so. Wait on those last two heavies. Got a Breeze Airways A220. You guys might be able to hear that one singing the A220 song. Oh yeah, that is so much better. Again, I apologize. It's been a year since we've done a significant nighttime show. So hopefully everything looks way better than it did a few minutes ago. I can't believe how good that actually looks. Jay, we did. We were talking about it earlier in the show. An absolute tragedy. Luckily, it wasn't any worse than it was. Could have been way, way more tragic. So the A220 for Breeze Airways getting out of here. I really feel like they shouldn't build things so close to the ends of the runways. That's just my personal opinion. Obviously, you know, you can't control what happens, but I really feel like things should be placed further away from the ends of runways. Then, of course, you got people who complain about airports and racetracks and the noise and this, that, and the other, and chances are the airport and the racetracks have been there a lot longer than you have. Unfortunately, airports can fight back and tell you to kick rocks. Racetracks, a lot of racetracks have closed due to noise ordinances. People buy houses near racetracks knowing they're loud. Huge race fan if you guys don't know. So New Pacific looking like they're getting ready to go. Air stairs pulled away, beacons on. But all right, that 757 rolling out of here. Again, this one headed back to Washington. Second 757 departure of the evening. That first one though, leaving empty. I don't know if this one's going to leave empty or not, but that Delta leaving empty earlier back to Newark. Absolute rocket launch. Perfect departure. Yeah, nice, Charles. Yeah, I'm a huge advocate for racetracks, honestly. I feel like, you know, the racetrack, chances are, has been here longer than your neighborhood, and you complain about it, knowing you moved into a neighborhood with a racetrack. It just really stinks. Stuff like that happens. And I bring that up, you know, talking about noise ordinances and things like that. I did see I don't know how many of you guys know the YouTuber Cletus McFarlane talking about that. Made everybody who bought a house near his racetrack, they had to disclose all of it, that they knew the racetrack was there, that they would, you know, they can't ever shut him down because the racetrack has been there since like 1940 something. So I'm surprised about Wake County Speedway as well, still being a thing right in town. As a matter of fact, they're growing. They sold out for the final race of their season. We haven't seen Mattman tonight. Speaking of racing, I wonder if he's sulking just like I was after Sunday's fiasco of a race. Same way with Saturday night's race, absolute fiasco. Sorry if you're a Larson fan or a Jesse Love fan, if you're even into racing. Absolute fiasco, if you ask me. The best two teams throughout the year did not win. Caroline, the only one you missed is Air France. They left around 7:05 p.m. tonight. American still has about 30 minutes or so before their departure. Yet Icelandair flew out. So some of our internationals already have left, but American still hanging on over here. 777 over here. Again, the MD-11 will be our last departure of the night. So we're looking at about an hour left in the show. Same, Charles. I'm so glad that they're going to change this format next year. I'm telling you, the two best teams did not win the championship, and I've never been so mad watching a race in my life than I was on Sunday. Never been so angry. Couldn't believe it. Check flight radar again. Raven, that's call sign for New Pacific. Raven 9627 off to Washington. We're going to head into Dulles in about 43 minutes or so. We've got an arrival American Airlines 1159 coming in from Charlotte. That's 11 minutes out. It's going to be an A321 coming up from the south. Got another American Airlines coming in from DFW, American Airlines 2513. 2 hours of flight time for them. They still have 8 minutes in their journey. So the American 777 is headed off to London. And like I said, the MD-11 will be our last departure. Hopefully they leave on time. If they leave close to 9:30, we'll stick around for that. If anything after 9:30, then we'll end the show there. But fingers crossed, the MD-11 still departs on time. Yeah, you could see that. You could see William Byron's was definitely upset with the outcome of the race, too. Nice. Accurate brick. Flies a Beach King Air. $4.5 million. Sign me up for that. I'll bid on that. I don't know if I'd rather have a Beach King. I think I'd rather have a Honda Jet or a Cirrus Vision Jet. Just depends on how many people I want to fly around with me. So now that we can see things, now that I've fixed the settings on this, we do have that Embraer 1000 Siege over here. We saw it last week. Flew off to Rome. It came in from Paris last week sometime. Flew off to Rome Saturday, I believe. Now it's back again this week. I can't remember where it came in from. They were talking about it over on the Facebook plane spotting group. But this one, back again. Small plane to be flying international, but they have done it. It looks a lot like an E190 to me. Yeah, Carol, we haven't had any bad weather, anything significant. We had a little rain Sunday night. It was a nice day here. We did the show on Sunday. Things started getting a little cloudier, and then by the time I got home, it was significantly cloudier, and then it started raining a short time after I got home. But other than that, the weather has been decent here. It's getting a little chilly tonight, about 61 degrees so far. Next week, temperatures drop significantly, which means your host is going to have to probably put on a base layer, put on the heated jacket and the snow pants. See, that's what I was thinking, Justin. I was thinking it was an E190 just modified, because it looks exactly like an E190. Too bad it's not got the E2 engines on it, though. You know, the big ones. Good looking plane, though. Air X, I believe, is the airline flying that back and forth. Yeah, I think the Cirrus Vision Jet would be for me. Again, I got a big family. If I ever hit the lottery and buy an airplane, it's going to have to be something like this one to fly the family wherever we're going. Oh, we want to go to wherever? Sure. Let's just hop in the plane. I would immediately sign up for pilot's license. Get all my learning in, get lessons. Got that A319 over here too. I don't know if this one's going to go out tonight. This one might be here for the evening. Not sure about that one yet. Again, our next arrival is going to be the American Airlines 2513 from Dallas. It's got about 2 minutes left in their journey. Yeah, I have some John Southwell. I gotta dig it out. Obviously, we swap out wintertime and fall clothing for spring and summer. But I do have the heated jacket, so I'll have to put a base layer on underneath that, and then I need to put on the snow pants. I bought snow pants last year. Didn't get to wear them. But this year, I have a feeling it's definitely going to be cold enough. They're going to stay in my car. I'll put them on whenever I get off work. Hopefully they're big enough to fit over my regular work pants and stuff. Oh, that's right. You live in Albuquerque. Nice weather out there in the desert, I'm sure. I always wanted to go out west. I watch a couple of YouTubers, or a YouTuber that lives in northern Arizona. He does like heavy recoveries. If you guys don't know, I watch more YouTube than I do anything else. Grumpy one, I'm about the same way. I work in shorts. I wear shorts 24/7. You know, if it gets cold enough in the wintertime, obviously, I work inside too, so I go in and out. If it gets cold enough, I'll put on long pants. But when you're up here on the parking garage and it's 28 degrees and the wind chill is like 10 degrees, nope. I gotta have on some nice thick pants, keep me warm. I almost fell, was that last year or the year before? There's an ice patch that formed under my car while I was doing my show, and I come around to the car and almost fell on my butt. So I had to be careful when I'm up here. See, lucky you get to live in shorts year round for the most part out there in Vegas. I keep telling the wife we need to move to Florida so I can live in shorts year round. So right now I'm sure it would be nice and comfortable out there right now. 179 likes. Thank you, Brian Lloyd, for the update. Keep on pressing that like button, you guys. Absolutely amazing, keeping us going here. Again, we've got about an hour left in the night of plane spotting. 3 arrivals coming at us here shortly. Again, if you guys are just joining us too, the American 777 due out in about 20 minutes. The MD-11 departure scheduled for 8:15. So those are 2 last significant flights out. Yeah, I really want to go out to the desert. I was talking to Pip, a friend of ours who does the plane spotting. I send you guys out to him all the time. He goes to Phoenix. He was in Anchorage last time. I actually haven't heard from him in a couple of days. I should text him. I know he was going to the doctor and all. Need to text and check on our buddy Pip. Find out how he's doing. And monkeys. Oh yeah, I saw that whole deal about monkeys. Yeah, I think the bugs would probably bother me the most, but also your host is a bit hefty, so the humidity would be my worst enemy, I think. Especially in the summertime. Florida's so beautiful, though, in my opinion. Don't ask. It's the palm trees. Hey, AKA John. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going down that road too, being a full-time content creator. Unfortunately, I got too many bills. I would have to make some significant changes if I wanted to be out here full time for you guys. We'd have to make rotations and all kinds of things, but it's something I've considered, but doing some math, I can't seem to find the time to break away and get out here more often. I know what it takes to be popular on YouTube. I just unfortunately have work. American Airlines 11:59 coming in from Charlotte. 32 minutes of flight time. This one a little slow. Normally about a 28-minute flight from Charlotte, but this one a little on the slow side. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about Florida. I've been fascinated with it for a long, long time. The palm trees, the atmosphere is different. And I've been to not all of Florida, but I've been to different parts, right? I've been been to school in Miami for a week or two, for a week. Then of course I've been to Orlando for a while, Port St. Lucie area for a month, back when I was a teenager. So Florida's been one of those places where I'm like, man, if I could, I would. And not even to live in a major city or anything, because honestly living in the city sometimes is, well, kind of annoying. But to live on the outskirts of a major city like Orlando or Daytona or something like that, I think would be semi-perfect. You guys also got to think too, I come from a vacation destination too, so my entire life growing up was like being on vacation all the time. And then I moved here to find work. And I realized why people go to my hometown for vacation. Plane spotting in Atlanta next April. Yeah, I need to try to go down to Atlanta at some point. I don't know if I'll go down there for that. I know Kevin from AVL knows who we are, but I've never spoken to Kevin. I'll pop into Walt's show there on Runway DFW from time to time. The one that you're seeing just the tail of, yes, that is the 777 off to London here shortly. I have a cousin that lives in Florida. I should get in contact with her and go down there more often, honestly. So not this A319 here. So we got the A319, but this one over here, Carol. That one right there, headed off to London again. About 10 minutes. Hey, thank you, Lynn. Thank you for hanging out with us. I will be here on Sunday. Not sure what time we're going to be here on Sunday. Did you guys enjoy the early start time for Sunday? If you guys enjoyed that early start time, it gives us a lot more daytime plane spotting. We can start earlier in the day. Granted, there's not a whole lot of action there before noon. Unfortunately, we had that issue this past Sunday. It really picked up around noon. But I do like to be out here as long as possible in the sun on Sunday. I like to soak up the sun now that the weather is decent. A little chilly, but a lot better than 100-degree heat with 80% humidity like we suffered over the summer. Yeah, so I'm on Sundays and Wednesdays. Every once in a while I'll throw a wrench into everything and do a show like this past Saturday. So what happened with Saturday was last Wednesday I wasn't able to do a show. I had a doctor's appointment that run almost into 6 p.m. I didn't even get home until 6 p.m. And so I knew that was going to happen, so we didn't have a show on Wednesday. I ended up going out and hanging out with a friend of mine last Wednesday evening, and so Saturday was the day to make that up. So we used Saturday as the long day. We saw Lufthansa, and then of course Sunday we were back. We did a short show on Sunday so I could get home, watch the race. And whenever we go out of town, we try to do both days, unless it's a weekend where like we had for Miss Carolina's birthday, where we spent one day doing fun things, exploring the area, going out to dinner, doing things like that one day, and then the Sunday we do a show. Now anytime we go to DC, typically DC is a Saturday Sunday situation, but here at RDU, Wednesdays and Sundays, typical days. By the way, I can't thank you guys. I know I thank you guys all the time, but I can't thank you guys enough for the numbers on Saturday. By the way, a lot of new subscribers on Saturday. Saturday and Sunday, I think we gained over 40, I believe, if I remember correctly. I think 30 alone on Saturday. So thank you guys for making Saturday happen. You guys made it all worthwhile coming out on a Saturday. I was concerned about coming out on Saturday because it's been the first one since we've done since the 4th of July, and we went to Dulles. Granted, it was a big holiday weekend. Our Sunday show was bigger than our Saturday show in Dulles, so I was a little worried about that. We've got a couple of planes ready for departure here. They're headed out to the end of the runway. Got another Southwest off in the distance for arrival, Southwest 3032. They're coming in from St. Louis. 1 hour 20, well, I'll say 23 minutes flight time for them by the time this MAX 8 touches down. So we've got an American out. It's a Republic Airways 4653 headed to Nashville, Tennessee. And there was a United headed out that way as well. So a couple of departures. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, we're looking at, well, 2 minutes before we should see the 777 start to push back here in about 2 minutes. It's got that E175 over here ready to go. And then, of course, the MD-11. 9:15. I anticipate a rocket launch, given the wind and the wind direction tonight out of that MD-11. Yeah, I know the feeling about being busy. I'm always busy, but I always make time in my schedule to come out here and bring you guys the planes. And if I can't, then I try to make it up somewhere, like last Wednesday. Like I said, last Wednesday, ran over on a doctor's appointment. I knew I was going to because it was such a late doctor's appointment anyway. So I was like, all right, well, we'll do it on Saturday. We'll double down on the weekend. And again, it turned out to be great. So again, thank you to you guys for that. And again, just a reminder, Thanksgiving morning we'll be out at the observation deck. after it opens. We'll do our second annual Thanksgiving morning show. Hopefully everybody tunes in. I know everybody's going to be busy cooking and doing their thing. Hopefully you guys will have us on in the background while you're cooking. I know it's hard to pull you guys away from that Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I myself enjoy the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. At night it's not open, so they close at sunset. Joshua, that is a plan that I've been I was talking about that last year when they announced that they were going to build the Boom Supersonics there in Greensboro. So that'll be one thing that is highly on my schedule. As soon as they start testing them, I'm out there. But yeah, so the observation deck closes at at sunset, reopens at 9 a.m. every day. I wish they had a set time at night, like 10 p.m., like the one in Charlotte does, but unfortunately they don't. Camera's struggling to focus on this one. Southwest coming in 23 right. First time we've seen that tonight. So Pip, hopefully you got all good news. Tracy, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Hope to see you on Sunday. There we go. The American 173, 174 heavy. Pushing back, ready to go. So the 777, about 2 minutes delayed, but only because that E175 is back there. Was behind it. I think we could all use more fiber. Gotta eat that broccoli. I like steamed broccoli, but I don't eat enough of it at all. I also like broccoli and cheese soup. So our tail emojis are for the members. I need to check and see if we can add any more tail emojis. Raina Taylor, good evening. Good to see you again, Raina. So glad I fixed the quality on the camera. Google Fiber. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Holy cow. Dude. That American Eagle, I'd like to know his climb rate. Holy cow. I looked up and he was going straight up. No, it wasn't a go around. He took off. And it was absolutely straight up. I'm sure the rate of climb was insane on that E175. All right, so here we go. We're going to get busy here. We've got American 1274 from Philadelphia and A320 on final. 56 minutes of flight time for that one. I've got a United sitting out at the end of the runway 2. Southwest finally making their way to the gate. A crowd pleaser. Oh, John. Protein will do it to you. Do it to you too. All right, so I'm going to mute my mic. You guys enjoy the start up of the Trents. About you guys, but I absolutely love the howl of those engines. Got a couple sitting in the penalty box. You saw that United go by. They're headed up the hill. Looks like they might be headed to the penalty box. There's also an American sitting up here as well. So hopefully we don't have any issues here for the 777. 777 leaving on time. Thank you, John Southwell. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Again, if you guys are just joining us, we got about 30 minutes left in the show. We're going to wait on that UPS MD-11 departure. No worries, David. Always. I enjoy being out here for you guys. Not looking forward to being out here in the cold weather, but we're going to do it. Yeah, so we get the 767 for FedEx, usually around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evenings. UPS stuff, we used to see more of them departing when there was the A300. We haven't seen the A300 or the 767 in quite some time, but we do try to stick around for the MD-11 departure. A lot of times, like I used to call the MD-11 the RDU statue, because every time you come to the airport, it's always here. You're like, does this thing ever leave? Well, after 9 o'clock and before 5 a.m. departure and arrival time. There's that United headed over to 23 left. Runway ops checking out the runway just before our 777 departure back to London. So United over here, 23 left, ready to go, and right here, I think we're looking in the right place. Right here is that American. Sitting off over here waiting for departure. Again, as we get ready for the 777 departure. You can see ops running down the runway. Gonna pull in front of the 777 there. Yeah, it always seems like Avelo has their stuff sitting here, don't they? Another United. That United finally going to get out of here. That one's been sitting down there for quite a while. Hopefully this, I think it's an A319, leaves like that E175 did a minute ago. Absolutely. Insane departure. All right, that. Have a wonderful evening. Be back on Sunday. I don't know if they're going to go for it. Doesn't look like it. Looks like they're going to turn around and get behind the American 777 here. The 777 on the move. Doesn't look like it yet. Got a Southwest coming in. Southwest 1292 coming in from Music City, Tennessee. 1 hour, 2 minutes of flight time for them so far. 737-800. See the 777 hanging out there. Got ops sitting down there with them. I'll keep an eye on it. Let you guys capture this arrival for Southwest. Yeah, that looks cool. Come on, Southwest, hurry up. Gotta switch hands. All right, enjoy the 777 departure. Try my best to get you guys one last shot of it there. Nice sounding departure. Again, that's American 174 Heavy off to London Heathrow at 777-200ER. Alright, so our final departure going to be that MD-11. Should pop up on flight radar here any time now. So they've got the Trents on board that one. The Air France has the smaller GEs on it. You could hear the difference if you were watching for both departures this evening. I wish they would do back to back so you guys can really hear the difference in those Trents versus the GEs. But it is a big, significant difference. United's still sitting over here, waiting for their departure. And of course that American sitting down in the penalty box, waiting for its departure. We've got AirShare coming in from Manchester. Embraer Phenom 300. 1 hour 51 minutes of flight time. That's going to be our next arrival. But again, our last significant departure is going to be that MD-11. We also have that United sitting out there waiting for its departure. Sound-wise, as far as the smaller GEs go, on this one, I think I like the Trents better. Out of the two here at the airport, the Trents sound better to me. I love that howl when they spool up. The GEs don't seem to have that, but the big GEs sound really, really good too. When will I be back in Charlotte? Good question. So, I was going to go away next weekend, either to Charlotte or to Dulles, but I had to put the kibosh on that, so we're going to shoot for the following weekend. That's not quite... Actually, I don't know that that's going to work either, because of Thanksgiving. Hold on, let me look at the calendar. Now with the holidays, it makes things even harder. Dang it. So the 15th, we were planning on going... I worked this weekend. Yeah, so the 22nd. The weekend of the 22nd. Don't quote me on it. This is just, you know, I have to talk to upper management, of course, to make sure that she doesn't have anything going on in case she wants to go with us. But... the 22nd and the 23rd possibly dates for us to go somewhere, whether it be Charlotte or it be Dulles. We'll figure that out as the time goes on. United 1667 off to Newark, New Jersey, an A319. That one's hitting the tarmac right now. I do, Josh, I do. Sadly, it's my one Saturday a month to work. Some months we have to work 2 Saturdays, but it's only like 1 or 2 months out of the year I gotta work 2 Saturdays. There you go, United off to Newark, that A319. Still no movement out of that other United, sitting over on the other side again. This is the excruciating part of waiting on the MD-11. Make me a great deal of 50%. No, sales is not my forte. Christopher Brown with another $2.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Christopher Brown. Again, absolutely appreciate your generosity. Thank you, guys. Yeah, sales is not my forte. I'm stuck in the back with all the crazies. And if any of my coworkers are watching the show, they'll attest that we are all nuts. Every last one of us. You almost have to be nuts to work in the car industry at almost any level. Although, you know what though? I really wouldn't mind trying sales. I wonder if it's any different, or if it's, I mean, I know it's different, but I wonder if it's any better than working in service. All right, looks like we got another Breeze Airways, a Moxie 541. This one coming to us all the way from Los Angeles. So we do have a December to Remember sales event coming up. Not that I'm trying to promote the dealership or anything, but what I'm trying to get at here with that story is there are cars absolutely everywhere. I think we got 4 more truckloads of cars today. We've got like no room left on the lot for all of these cars. So again, Moxie 541 from Los Angeles. It's going to be an A220-300, 4 hours, 22 minutes of flight time, free oil change. Service has gotten expensive. I don't know if you guys have had your cars serviced in the last, I don't know, 6-8 months, but I noticed we had a price increase. The labor rate has increased. It's United finally getting a move on. Appears to be a 737. Breeze is going to come in on 23 right, giving this one the opportunity to bounce out. So this United 1769, this one's headed off to SFO, 737 MAX 8. Yeah, BMW's outrageous. We're up to 198. $198 on the labor rate for us. I think it's 198. I know it's on par with all the other dealerships around the area, so. We have people, and again, I'm not dissing the car industry or where I work by any stretch of the imagination. I do enjoy what I do, but when you have folks saying that a set of wiper inserts, not even the wiper blades, the rubber for the wiper blades is too expensive, you know things have gotten difficult for the automotive industry. I had a customer the other day talking about that her wiper inserts were torn and messed up. She's like, from what I understand, our service advisor was like, yeah, she said that's way too much, so no. So selling work has been difficult, especially when people need it. Thank you, Brian Lloyd. We passed 200 likes tonight, and guess what? Just beyond those trees, we have the MD-11 pushback, ready to go. Hopefully, this won't be the last time we see the MD-11, given the circumstances of yesterday's event. Again, we talked about that earlier in the show. Hopefully yesterday's events don't push up UPS's and FedEx's timelines to get rid of their MD-11s. Yeah, I think ours are like 60, 75 bucks. And again, that's just for the rubber inserts. That's not the entire wiper blade. You would think it being just a piece of rubber, you know, it'd be like 20 bucks, 15 bucks. Not 75. You can go to Napa Auto Parts and buy all 3 wiper blades for what, 30, 40 bucks, if that. Granted, they don't last as long and they probably don't work as well, but yeah, that's just what it's come down to. Oil changes are well over $100. At least for a dealership, it's well over $100. I don't know about like Jiffy Lube or Snappy Lube or any Midas or any of those places, but I do know for us, well over $100. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So Miles, we're looking at the MD-11. You can see the beacon there. It's just beyond these annoying trees. So it is up on flight radar. It is pushed back. It's ready to go. So they'll swing around to get out of here momentarily. Yeah, and it doesn't matter the manufacturer anymore. Dealerships aren't cheap. Cars aren't cheap. I read an article the other day that said the average price of a car now is 50 grand. Which one? Wow, there's a flight coming from South Bend in 9 minutes. Operated by Air Wisconsin. We've got Air Canada coming at us too. Jazz 671 from Montreal. That's going to be a CRJ 900. Oh yeah, it's an American Eagle. All right, so if you click on that on flight radar, Air Wisconsin 1901. Says operated by American Eagle, or it is American Eagle operated by Air Wisconsin, but if you look at the icon, it's United. So the icon for the CRJ 200 is a United, but it's supposed to be an American Eagle. All right. Anxious to see what that one actually is. That one arriving in 5 minutes. It's got a really cool looking livery on it. It is the actual Air Wisconsin livery. So we'll definitely stick around for that. That'll be a first. I've never seen the Air Wisconsin. FedEx don't depart till almost 10, if not right after 10. We'll make Air Wisconsin our unofficial last plane. Again, they're arriving in 5 minutes. Plus, they could get here well before the MD-11 departure. Next arrival is Endeavor 5152 from Nashville, Tennessee. That's the one you see at the top of your screen there. It's going to be followed by another CRJ. It's going to be another Endeavor, I believe. No, that's Air Canada. I only see the red part of Air Canada, and every time I see it and CRJ, I think Delta. That's why you guys hear me confuse that all the time. Thank you, Brian Lloyd. Glad you enjoyed the show. Again, a few more minutes left in the evening. Then I'm going to go home and eat. I'm starving. it's not a good idea to eat this late at night, but all right, there she is, the UPS MD-11. We'll snag Air Canada as well. So we got a few more arrivals here. Air Canada is going to be followed by United Airlines 365T coming in from San Francisco. This seems late. These SFO flights. The one departing a moment ago, and now this one coming in. 4 hours, 16 minutes of flight time for the MAX 8. Yeah, so I don't know if she got pizza or if she made pizza, but she's got some saved for me at home. By the way, she really hates it when I say that, but I say it because she hates it. I'm sure she's asleep now, but she'll chime in a minute. Stop calling me that. Glad you guys have enjoyed tonight's show. I didn't know how well tonight was going to go again. With it being dark by the time we got here, almost. Me figuring out the camera settings midway through the show made things a lot better. Everything looks a whole lot better than it did when we started. But again, we haven't had a long or significant nighttime show for me to really pay much attention to the nighttime settings, but tonight we got everything dialed in. That way we'll have everything dialed in once again for next Wednesday night show. I like when I can do a mixture of both. Go from daytime into the night. Coming out here and it being straight up nighttime is well, it's more difficult for one thing. Setting up, taking down, it's not a big deal. Setting up, it's a little bit more significant. Trying to dig in the bag and find everything, and get all the equipment out and ready to go. That can make it a little bit more difficult. All right, so United 365T. Next arrival, again, that MAX coming from SFO. Air Wisconsin behind that one. That one's going to be our last arrival of the evening. Where did they go? Oh, yes. And then there's another United right behind that. So miles, I use a Nikon, along with the Tamron lens. I had our settings all out of whack to start the evening. I want to apologize for that again. So the MAX 8 from SFO. So we just bought a Sattler tripod from B&H. It's our newest inquiry, whatever you want to call it. our newest acquired item for the show. All right, enjoy the MD-11 departure. Hopefully this is a rocket. Enjoy. Air Wisconsin up next. Supposed to be in the actual Air Wisconsin livery. We'll find out here in a minute. It says American Eagle. The logo on flight radar says United. The paint scheme says Air Wisconsin. Favorite moment of a stream? It depends. There's several different things I look at during a stream. One is the quality of the traffic, what all's going on, and the amount of viewers. The amount of viewers really get me hyped. The more viewers we have, the more hyped I am. But doing this show is more like an escape. Kind of like therapy. When I come out here, I do this show, everything disappears. I know I've mentioned it before. But yeah, coming out here for me, it's a release. Doing a show, being able to focus on the production. Put my heart and soul into this show to bring to you guys. It's a proud achievement of mine. Never thought I'd be doing anything like this, if I'm honest. I've always had ambitions to do YouTube, but I never thought it would be aviation, and I never thought it would be live. United 2192 coming in from Newark, New Jersey. That one's going to be a 737 MAX 8. And then we have an American right after that one. Might try to pick up that Air Wisconsin livery again once it gets into the general aviation side of things. The MAX 8 from Newark. You guys are absolutely welcome. Again, I couldn't do this show without you guys. If there wasn't anybody watching the show, I wouldn't be here. Taking that American over to the West Ron for sleep. Republic Airways 4502, our next arrival. That one coming in from LaGuardia. It's going to be an E175LR. We've seen a lot of E175s. Let's turn back to Air Wisconsin here, see if we can see this livery. Yeah, out of all of the shows that I've done, that is definitely one of my favorites. When we were here that one night and that F-15 flew by, had that unrestricted climb out and afterburners, that was, I had no idea what happened to us, what was going on that night. That was an absolute epic evening. So, Air Wisconsin in. Let's check flight radar for anything significant. We do have United 1821, another A319 headed to Newark, New Jersey, out at the end of the runway. Let's check on any arrivals. Got a Delta 757 coming in about 12 minutes. We're not going to stay for that. That one will stay overnight and leave out first thing in the morning, around 6-7 a.m. to head back to Atlanta. It's currently coming from Atlanta. Need to check on our big battery here. This will be the third straight show we've used the battery for. We're still at 17% on the big one. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy night that night. One of my favorite nights for sure. And then of course doing all the fireworks and stuff. All the nighttime fireworks. The 4th of July, and the other one was the Light Festival. As a matter of fact, we missed that one. I looked. Last year it was in November. Briar Creek had fireworks again in October, and we missed it. So apologies for that, missing out on those. But I think that's going to be it, you guys. We're going to call it a night right here. Thank you guys for hanging out once again with us. Greatly appreciate all of the support from you guys. Again, this show would be nothing without y'all. Probably going to have one more departure if United will move on. I see their beacon, but we're going to say our good evenings here. I want to thank my channel moderators, channel members. You guys are phenomenal. I hope you guys have enjoyed tonight's show, and we hope to see you again on Sunday. We'll be back. We shall see you then. Thank you guys, and good night.